Happy February 1st, everyone. My goodness, I can't believe it's already February. So for so many people out there, they're saying, yay, 13 days away until Valentine's Day. Jewelry, chocolates, flowers, sounds great. But if you're single, it's all in your perspective on how you look at Valentine's Day. At least that's what our author of How Not to Date After Divorce, Paula Marinos, joins us today to talk about what it's like to be single on Valentine's Day.
Absolutely.
Okay, so you said that I was allowed to share a little bit of your story.
Absolutely.
You divorced 8 years ago.
Right.
Which means you've had 8 Valentines by yourself.
Yes, absolutely.
So let's talk about the first Valentine's alone compared to the 8th Valentine's alone. Was that hard, the first one?
It was very hard.
Was it?
I have children, and you know, you're without your children, you're without your spouse, all those things, and you just feel totally alone. And you're going through a time when you don't feel good about yourself anyway.
Sure.
So.
But Valentine's Day is really just a day, right?
Yeah, but it's kind of like kryptonite to daters. It really is. It's the thing, you feel like you're going along, you're doing great, and then all of a sudden, boom, Valentine's Day comes out and you're dateless.
You're right. We see Hallmark. We see all the advertisements, you know, go to Jared and get jewelry and all sorts of things. But doesn't it really come down to loving yourself?
It does, absolutely. But at the time when you go through a divorce, it really doesn't matter what the reasons for the divorce. You still don't feel really good about yourself. You feel like there's something wrong and you've done something wrong.
Sure.
And you failed. So when you go into the dating world again, you're not really happy with who you are.
And I think as women too, I mean, we're taught to succeed in a marriage. And I think, you know, I have a lot of friends that have gone through divorces and they say, that's the biggest thing. I feel like I failed.
Absolutely. You totally do. I was married for 20 years. So, you know, I felt like I put a lot of time into it, and more than half my life. And then I'm single again. And what do I do now? And how do I build that back up? And
Sure. And how do you build that back up?
you have to really get happy about you. And in fact, part of my book is you really shouldn't be dating unless you're happy about you, because you're just going to find all kinds of mistakes that you get into.
So if you're really in a marriage that you don't want to be in, or your spouse doesn't want to be in, really how fulfilling is Valentine's Day anyway, if you're in a marriage, an unhappy marriage?
Absolutely. You feel like it's really never going to be good enough. What happens during the Valentine's Day really doesn't make you happy, because you're relying on somebody else to give that to you, and you can't. You have to rely on yourself, and that's
Aren't
the
we
biggest
taught
thing.
that? Aren't we taught that in our culture as women? You know, someone else will make you happy. If you're 35 and you're not married yet, you know, what's wrong with you?
Right. You've got everybody from your grandma to your
Sure.
niece or nephew. Why aren't you married yet? What's going on? What's wrong with you?
Right, right.
So we are taught that.
Yeah, and you know, I love that you're sharing your story with people, because you know there are people watching right now that are either contemplating going through a divorce, are going through a divorce, and are having a hard time with Valentine's here in 13 days. What
Right.
are some things they can do to maybe ease that day a little bit for them?
Don't rent a movie that has to do with love and happiness, and you know, don't sit at home
do
with
it.
a tissue box. It doesn't help. Just go out with some friends. Find something to do. Go bowling.
Yeah.
It really doesn't matter, as long as you're doing something that's fun. And do not go out to the restaurants and go and have dinner, because it's all about the date, the togetherness, the package deal.
Sure,
So
sure.
that really doesn't help you at all.
Yeah, definitely do not make Ben and Jerry your best friend,
No.
right? You'll just feel worse after eating a pint
That's
of
right.
ice cream. But you know, one of the things online that I read that I thought was just really a creative way to do it is a group of women actually get together and they decide, they do a little gift exchange.
Perfect.
And they decide who they're going to draw, and they draw a name, and they decide who they get the gift for, and then everybody gets a Valentine.
Exactly.
Because I think it is about, you know, everyone else looks happy, even
Right.
if they're not, and they're all getting a Valentine, and poor me.
Yeah, send yourself flowers. I mean, give yourself a card. It's you need to love anyway, because if you don't love yourself, how can you expect anybody else to?
It's funny, I went to the iPic Theater over the weekend, and they have a special Valentine's offer, and they were talking about you can either buy a couple or you can buy a single ticket. And I thought that was interesting that you didn't have to purchase it in couples. You
Right.
could buy your own single, but that may be a little hard sitting there looking around with
No,
all the
don't
dates.
go by yourself. No,
don't
definitely
go by
don't
yourself.
You have to find a friend to go with.
Yeah,
That's for sure.
and quickly, we're just about out of time, but I want to tell you, I absolutely loved your book.
Oh,
It's
thank
so
you.
easy. It's just a fun little thing to read. Note to self, getting naked with someone does not heal anything. So Valentine's Day may not be a good day to head out to the bar and think, oh, I'm going to fill this void inside of me.
And definitely don't bring out that desperation outfit.
What's that?
Well, you know, it's that outfit. You've seen them. You've seen them out
Oh,
there.
oh,
You've seen
oh, I
them out there
have.
with the woman
Yeah.
tripping over
Oh,
her
yeah.
cleavage and her stilettos and miniskirt. It's not attractive.
Yeah, yeah.
It just
I-
screams
I-
desperation.
It really does. I see it on Jerry Springer every day.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for sharing this. I mean, I think definitely there is a way to feel good on Valentine's Day, whether you're married, whether you're single, or whether you're just spending the day alone. Start with a hike and just do something special for yourself. Thank you so much, Paula Marinos. Where can we find your book?
On Borders.com.
Borders.com. Great. Thank you very much.
Thanks,
Happy
Angela.
early Valentine's Day to all of you, and we'll be right back after the break.